Hi, I've chosen to talk about squeaks today. Squeaks on the Native American Style Flute. And I'll tell you one truism about squeaks. They happen. I repeat, squeaks happen. Whether you've been playing for 5 minutes or 50 years, it doesn't matter. Squeaks happen. All it is a note you didn't expect, might be a little shocking to you, might be embarrassing to a lot of people. That's what I come across in my classes and as a flute seller and as a teacher. But all it is, simple. It's your flute talking to you. Just listen. You know, when people are playing for the first few minutes, they play a few notes up here and then you bring them down to that last note and it squeaks. That happens a lot. It happens to probably everybody. Well, the thing is, some people react by recoiling, getting small, thinking, I can't play. What was that? And the thing is, they forgot they just played 10 notes that were really lovely and they got one squeak and they're focused on the squeak. And all of a sudden, the world's falling apart. They can't play a flute. Then there's another group of people I come across often and they'll play a few notes and they get down to this last one and it'll squeak. And what do? Oh, they hammer around with that finger and this finger trying to make it happen. In essence, they're arguing with their flute. Don't argue with your flute. Okay? It's simple. Squeaks physically are when you come down on any finger and your finger's not all the way on and air escapes out a little slice of the flute, out a little bit of the hole. Just like when you're blowing up a balloon when you were a kid, you thought it was fun and you'd hold it and it would go, ee, let it go, and the balloon would take off. Same with a squeak. It's got that little noise, but if you let the squeak go, it's gone. Okay? So those who have played for a while and don't squeak as often as beginner players, they just continue on playing. People forget about the squeak. And I want you to forget about it too. And what I mean by that is to just, wherever you're squeaking from, whatever finger, take that finger off and play the notes above it. Play around a little bit, get comfortable again, and then come back down and just take your time and follow your finger to the hole. And if it squeaks, come back off, enjoy a few good notes, try it again. Okay? Don't fight with your flute and don't take it personal. This is an inanimate object. It really doesn't care. It's just giving you feedback. And I try to tell people, and I feel strongly about this, that this squeaks that you get now give you a determination to try harder or get you to quit. Which way do you want to go? The other thing is those very squeaks you make at the beginning or all along in your flute journey, you can eventually turn them into a hawk coming in or a pot of whales. I mean, the possibilities are endless. You can put a squeak in now and then on purpose. So don't throw them away. Don't throw away your energy and your time by fretting about squeaks, because squeaks happen. Now, one of the most common places, not the only place that squeaks happen, is this last hole. So everybody's starting out as a beginner and they've got these fingers on, but they come back down. Maybe they've started playing this way. Some people start by learning the top down on the flute. But a lot of times it's this finger that will start causing the trouble. Well, let me explain a few things about your hand. One is, this is the weakest part of your hand, these two fingers. And so when you go to put it down and you use it a lot, your hand's going to get tired in here. Okay. The other thing is you can stretch your hands all you want. I've got a pretty good stretch and this finger can go more, but you see, I have to think about it to get it to go over there and get those ones to go. This part of your hand goes fine, and then you work a little harder to get the further stretch. And I have this little theory about the hands. Okay. This finger, your first finger on both hands, think of it as having gone to college. It's got his PhD. It knows everything. Easy to learn, loves to learn. The second finger here, it's college graduate, thinks he knows everything. Okay. He's pretty cool. He learns a lot from his first finger. Your last finger here that you put down, Think of that as a dropout. Now, there's nothing wrong with a dropout, but this one's a troublemaker. So every time he comes down, there gets to be some sibling rivalry and your fingers start shifting around. And that's the physiology of your hand. It's the weaker part, okay? So with that in mind, as you're coming down your flute, everybody's just fine. Your fingers fall right into place. You put this finger down and look, you miss the hole. If you come down just where your finger naturally wants to fall, you're going to miss part of the hole. Hence, you're going to squeak, okay? So I learned this, I think it was either from Odell Borg or Clint Goss. Wonderful people. Follow a lot of their free tutorials and you'll learn a lot beyond squeaking too. But one of the things is when you put your finger down, you miss the hole because your finger doesn't naturally just fall over the hole. There's a slight difference in length between here and here. Hard to see on the camera, but trust me, okay? So what you do is bring your dropout finger, your last finger, over to touch your finger, over, down, up, over, down, up, over, down. Now I do this before I play my flute. I have some hand issues. I need to do this all the time. Not a bad exercise. And you'll notice when I do this, I have no problem with the reach. I know I have to go looking for that hole, okay? So here you come down your flute. Now you're not in any hurry to get there. You have time to do that when you're playing. When you're starting out, you have time for everything. And even after you've been playing a while, you have time for everything. And if you squeak, the squeak police aren't going to take you off to jail, okay? So you're bringing your fingers down, you're playing, everything's fine. You can touch, over, down. Now, some people will take it, and after they've done that for a while, they just slide the finger down, slide it down, okay? What happens is that gets sloppy and it starts a whole nother problem. The exercise is touch the finger, over, down, up, over, down, up, over, down. In no time, you'll find that this finger here will stay in place. You won't move around so much when you're stretching this finger, and this finger will just know automatically to stretch because you've been teaching it that stretch your hands, then reach. Stretch your hand, reach, okay? So squeaks will be your friend at some point. Squeaks are going to happen. Your flute's just talking to you. So don't waste your time fretting about them. Work on them. Play with them. Play around them and accept them as being part of your flute journey. And, you know, a lot of people, 5 minutes in, they think, oh, I can't play. A music teacher told me I can't play. I played in front of my daughter or my son or my husband. They said, you squeak. Yeah, you do. So pick up your flute. The only people who do not squeak are people who do not flute.